What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy, Chaos here, and today I'm continuing to rank my favorite Pokemon of each type. This list comes from my experiences playing through the Pokemon franchise over the past several years. The order of this series is from my least favorite type to my most favorite type, and I will be covering all of the 18 types. A dual-type Pokemon has the possibility to be considered for both types it has because if a Pokemon is one of my favorites, I see no point in excluding it from a list just because I've used it on the other type. So I'm going to use them on both. With all that being said, sit back and relax as we dive into the Water type. Number 10. Seismitoad. Generation 5 produced some really solid Pokemon, and Seismitoad is one of those mons. I've always thought frogs were cool, and Seismitoad is just a powerful looking Pokemon with some good stats and some abilities that can make it pretty viable in some of the lower tiers and competitive. I really like the water ground typing in general because I think it's one of the best typings out there. They just are so synchronous with each other and only have a weakness to grass, although it is a 4x weakness. Seismitoad easily became one of my favorite Pokemon once I used it in my Season 2 team of the Premier Draft League. It was a very nice Stealth Rock setter as well as a Rain Sweeper if I wanted to run it that way, so it gave me some versatility, and I really have just liked this thing since then. Number 9. Lanturn. Recently, Lanturn has become one of my favorites to use. I used it on the best team for Pokemon Sword, and it did not disappoint. This is another cool typing that I really like since water and electric complement each other pretty well as well. I never really have used a Lanturn before since I've never really found one early enough to throw it onto one of my teams, but Lanturn also is been something I've used recently a lot and has really brought headlines to my eyes about liking this Pokemon. Lanturn also is a member of my Season 5 PDL team, and I'm excited to get it and use it for some shenanigans this season. Number 8. Psyduck. Yeah, it's a weird pick, I know, but Psyduck has been one of those niche Pokemon that some people enjoy, and I just happen to be one of those people. Misty Psyduck was one of my favorite Pokemon in the Pokemon anime growing up, and I loved it for its sense of comic relief. I also really enjoyed its role in Pokemon Channel as a news anchor, and it's probably my favorite iteration of Psyduck, just going Psyduck. If you haven't played Pokemon Channel and you haven't seen the clip of Psyduck being a news anchor, it's pretty funny. Go watch it. It's 10 out of 10. I just think this is a funny Pokemon, and I really think it has one of the best shinies in Generation 1, so I'm really excited to shiny hunt it at some point. Number 7. Polytote. Polytote is my weather setter of choice, mostly since I play competitive in Draft League styles, and I want to pick a lower tier mon to set up the rain instead of choosing one of the higher tier mons. I generally have enjoyed the entirety of this line, but Polytote is my favorite since it most resembles a frog to me, and we've already discussed that I enjoy frogs. I really like its shiny form as well. It reminds me of Sweet Frog if you ever had the frozen yogurt brand. And despite its rather unimpressive stats, I've always really enjoyed just having Polytote on my few teams that I've used it on, and it's slowly become one of my favorites to use, especially if you try to run it with a ranked team. It just works for some reason, probably because of that Drizzle ability. Number 6. Totodile. I really don't see any issues with Totodile. It's such a great design, such a good starter Pokemon, and I really just love it. It's such a great design, and Ash's Totodile in the anime really made me enjoy this Pokemon. Now, Totodile might not have been my first starter in the Johto region. It's not even my favorite Johto starter, but it does make it a difficult choice when I have to choose between Totodile and Cyndaquil to make a run of any Johto game that I play. It's never an easy choice. The move pool for this mon is exceptionary, and it's very just awesome in the coverage it gets. I don't know if you've ever tried to run a Totodile before, but it's got some pretty nice moves. I've even had a Feraligatr on a Draft League team before, and I really enjoyed using it there. Also, Feraligatr was a mon that was on my Pokemon Coliseum randomizer team and one of my MVPs throughout the entirety of the playthrough. Number 5. Quagsire. I said I liked water ground types, did I not? Quagsire is a lovable derpy Pokemon, and I just can't help but like this Pokemon. It became my designated max raid Pokemon when Sword and Shield came out, and I've used it ever since to complete those battles. Quagsire is not a stranger to my teams, as I typically have run Quagsire in Pokemon Coliseum, because it's honestly probably the best water type you get early on. I also ran Quagsire on a Draft League team once as a defensive Pokemon, and I generally enjoyed using it. Quagsire has a lot of usability, and I think many people sleep on this Pokemon when they probably would enjoy it if they actually used it once. Number 4. Wingull. I've talked a lot about Draft League in this videos, and I would be remiss if I did not include my current mascot Pokemon for my Draft League team. When I was creating my newest logo, I tried to find teams that would work with some of my favorite Pokemon, and it ended up getting Wingull. So, Detroit Red Wingulls, we're kicking it. I've liked Wingull since I first saw it in Pokemon Emerald. It has been a mainstay on my Hoenn runs since then, and even on the saves that I have used Swampert in, because I'm crazy and use 2 water types on a team, because I can. I think Pelipper is a good Pokemon as well, and it's a really good range setter for higher tiers in competitive. I also really like finding Nemo, and these Wingulls remind me of the seagulls that go, mine, 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 mine. Watch Finding Nemo. Would recommend. Number 3. Gyarados. Yes, I typically pronounce it as Gyarados, and I know it's actually pronounced Gyarados, but don't be too mad at me. Gyarados has always been a cool Pokemon to me. It looks incredibly powerful and menacing. And my real love of Gyarados comes from Season 3 of the PDL when I drafted Mega Gyarados. It easily became something everyone feared when they came up against my team in the season to battle, as it often just cleaved through my opponents. I don't think I've had as much success with any other Pokemon in a competitive format besides this Mega Gyarados that just bodied Season 3 of the PDL. It also holds the highest kill record of any of my teams and any of the Mons I've drafted at 18 kills in one season, which just is a testament to how powerful Mega Gyarados and Gyarados can be in general. I also like the idea of a static red Gyarados at the Lake of Rage. I just think that it's really fitting that, you know, a red Gyarados, an angry color on a Gyarados who's an angry looking Pokemon, is in a place where you're raging. That just makes sense to me, and I really like that idea. And I remember using that shiny Gyarados in my first playthrough of Pokemon Soul Silver. Number 2. Gastrodon. I like water ground types. What can I say? Gastrodon was one of my favorite Pokemon to come out of the 4th generation. I really liked its design, and especially the East Coast form. Gyarados became my first Draft League mascot, shout out to the East Coast Gastrodons, because of how much I enjoyed the Pokemon when I first started in the competitive scene. It's a tanky Pokemon, and it can be good for stalling as well. It's got a lot of moves to offer as well, so it could be used as utility, but generally defensive is the way to go. There's not much this Pokemon doesn't switch into, besides its obvious 4x grass weakness, but you can forget about it. And yet again, this is another derpy looking Pokemon that I've just come to enjoy over the years. Now before we reach number 1, we do have an honorable mention for this video that I would like to throw in. Our honorable mention is Slowbro. You know by now that I like derpy looking Pokemon, and Slowbro's not an exception to that. I generally prefer Slowbro over Slowking because of how I've used it in competitive before. I think Slowbro's just better than Slowking because it just works. Try it out, you let me know. Slowbro also has become one of my favorites since it is an emote on my Twitch channel, aka KSX1. Bruh. And finally, number 1. Vaporeon. You probably saw this coming if you've ever been around the channel for any small period of time. The evolutions are some of my most favorite Pokemon out there, and taking the cake from my most favorite evolution is Vaporeon. I really like Vaporeon right from the start of my Pokemon adventures. It was my surfing mon in many of my runs of Fire Red, as a kid because of just how much I liked it. Not many Pokemon have become my favorites because of some of their TCG art, but I remember having a Dark Vaporeon card that I really enjoyed. I tended to use Vaporeon quite frequently in many of my playthroughs over the years, my favorite being using it on my Pokemon Y team. Now this Vaporeon stands out from the rest due to my only experience battling in Pokemon X and Y, which was a Wi-Fi battle where it came back from a 1-6 deficit to win me that match. After that, there's not been a lot that can even come close to contesting Vaporeon for one of my favorites of all time. And it currently sits as my 3rd favorite Pokemon. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed my favorite water type video. Let me know what your favorite water type Pokemon is in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to help out this channel and YouTube's ever-changing algorithm. Feel free to check me out on other platforms such as Twitter, Discord, and Twitch for live content and more ways to stay connected. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Chaos, signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.